We're in trouble in America. We're losing our moral bearings. We're losing our respect for the rule of law. And you look around America today and things are bad and they're getting worse. We're broke. We're dispirited. We're scared. We've been moving closer and closer to socialism, further away from God, the Constitution, doing what's right in our own eyes, and all the while not noticing that it's killing us. It's killing our nation.
Just beginning.
Americans tend to be too comfortable, slowly but surely turning their backs on the sacrifices their forefathers made for liberty. Why is that? As bad as it is, as horrible as it seems, as unlikely as it appears that we can escape, what we're going through can actually be a vitally necessary experience for us, and one that is ultimately very healthy and liberating for this country. The truth needs to be told in all the dark places, because it's the truth that sets us free.
It's morning again in America. Today, more men and women will go to work than ever before in our country's history. With interest rates at about half the record highs of 1980, nearly 2,000 families today will buy new homes, more than at any time in the past 4 years. This afternoon, 6,500 young men and women will be married. And with inflation at less than half of what it was just 4 years ago, they can look forward with confidence to the future. It's morning again in America. And under the leadership of President Reagan, our country is prouder and stronger and better. Why would we ever want to return to where we were less than 4 short years ago?
Well, that was 40 years ago, and it is morning in America once again, and Americans are waking up. Welcome to the program, everybody. This is WorldNet Daily Live. My name is Matt Edwards. It is November 6th, the day after Election Day, and I'm here to declare that Trump was right about everything, if you couldn't tell right now. We were on the air long last night, 8 hours in the seat. It was a fantastic evening. We hope many of you who are joining us now were here with us last night as well. But we just want to catch up on what went down last night. Get some more reactions. We have the wonderful Liz Joy with us. Of course, Josh Turnbow. Hello, folks. Good morning.
Hey, everybody.
Good afternoon if you're in the East, like Liz is. Oh, let's get her unmuted. We've got a muted mic on her there. There. Up. Come on.
Someone else do it. Here, I'll do it.
You can do it. There you go.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's like the doors unlock lock when when you're a little kid in the car, your parents are trying to open the car door.
That's right.
Well, anyway, yes. Feels like morning here on the East Coast. We've all been up all night. I know.
Yes, good point. Yeah, I mean, I'm on the West Coast, so I got to go to bed a little bit earlier than you folks did. But we are. I mean, it is. It is. I don't know what's more shocking. Not that he won, but that the news has decided to say he did. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at, right?
That part's amazing. Yeah.
I do want to do real quick up the top here. We want to. Can we do the Uncharted Supply company? Yeah. Here we go. Uncharted Supply. You know, the first 72 hours of any disaster is when you need the right gear. And if you go and scan this QR code, you head over to Uncharted Supply Company, you scan this QR code, you will get yourself right in line to pick up one of these 72-hour survival kits. We're very grateful to have Uncharted Supply Company help sponsoring the show here. And so please hit that QR code and follow the link that's down below as well. well, and get yourself prepared, because we still don't know what's to come, right, Josh?
No, we don't. It feels really great. Like the energy. Well, we went with the idea this morning for the theme of the show. It's Morning in America. I think Elon tweeted it, but this is an idea from the Ronald Reagan slogan era where, Reagan had won again and the country was in great shape. And that's the promise that everyone is hoping for with the Trump win. That being said, buy survival supplies because he's not in the office yet, people.
That's right. That's right. And Liz, we had you on the program a while ago, and you ran for a congressional seat out there in New York, and you also have been very active on the front lines on this Prop 1 issue. And there were a lot of propositions that were on the ballot across the country in many different areas, especially dealing with abortion. And this one, on its face, didn't necessarily deal with abortion. Didn't look like it dealt with abortion in New York, but it looks like this proposition passed, which would allow abortions, I think, in New York, while in Florida they rejected it. So give us a take right now on what happened in New York.
Yes. So, and that's correct. Yes, I ran for Congress here in New York's 20th congressional district in 2020 and 2022. But what happened here in New York? So New York, as far the New York Democrats last night, while the country had an amazing night, right? And I'm so pleased that Donald Trump won the election, and it looks like it was a clean sweep. It looks like he's taken away, the swing states as well. But the Prop 1 issue here in New York for New Yorkers that was championed by the Democrats was a Trojan horse. It was very deceitfully worded, and what it actually will do, and it did pass, by the way, but what it will actually do is it allows minors to have any kind of gender surgeries, gender drugs, transition drugs without parental consent. It allows boys into girls' sports and locker rooms and showers. Women's sports, as far as New York is concerned, is basically now not going to exist. Parental rights are now going to be taken away. And it is going to allow for a wide open door for illegals to be voting in New York State, because they are now going to be covered under the New York State Constitution under national origin.
Wow.
So very sadly, that passed. We probably are going to try to figure out a way to sue and appeal and get this overturned. We have to see what's going to happen with that, though.
Yeah. This sounds like New York just like bypassed California. I mean, you're letting everything in with just one proposition that was deceptively worded. I mean, do you think that there was a broad coalition, outside of New York City what was the biggest deception that maybe conservatives or just low information voters would have just assumed that this was going to do?
Because it was labeled equal rights. It was it was labeled equal rights for everyone. And we want to protect all aspects of equal rights. And if you are for equal rights in New York State and you are for abortion access in New York State, then you need to vote yes. If you're not for equal rights, vote no. But what happened is that New Yorkers, we tried to get the message out. But what happened here is New York abortion access, New York abortion rights are already enshrined in the New York State public health law that is not going anywhere. And Proposition 1 was not going to touch abortion rights. It's already there. It's already going to stay that way. And even after at the federal level, the Supreme Court, through Roe versus Wade back to the states, Governor Hochul here in New York made provision to make sure that abortion access and was going to be legal for every single woman up until the time of delivery. And we already have New York public health law that allows a minor child to get an abortion without parental consent. And It has to be covered by the New York insurance laws. So it was falsely worded under equal rights and that abortion rights were threatened, when in fact, that was not the truth. And instead, they opened the door for all of these other things. Yeah. Very, very deceitful, sinister, and we have to figure out a way to fix it.
Yeah. Well, once again, politics is local. You got to stay active. You got to pay attention to what's going on locally in your state, in your city, in your county, wherever you're at. You got to do that. Meanwhile, though, nationally at least, there's some good news, because some of the stuff that Trump was talking about addresses the very things that you pointed out that this Prop 1 may allow in New York City, and hopefully we can get some movement on this. let's take a look here. Mike Cernovich over on X, he asked this question last night because he was celebrating, and he said, "Hey everybody, I haven't seen a lot of the meltdown." Now, Liz, I know you're in New York, so you probably saw a lot of this meltdown as well. But he asked folks to just post people melting down as the results came in last night. Josh, what do we got here? What can we peek in the door here and listen to?
A friend of mine said that the atmosphere feels like it's more humid from all the tears that are being released across America. We'll just dip into some of these as we go and just play them out. I think, well, of course, Joy Reid. I'm looking forward to her decline, but this is kind of some of it right here. Let's go ahead and play it, guys.
You know, it's a state that I think Democrats definitely were reaching for. There was a lot of work to try to turn out the college campuses, which were really thick and really packed, and try to turn out the suburbs. And I think there was a lot of hope because of just the insanity, can we say fairly, of the person who's running for governor in that state, and a thought that, defeating him would also carry Harris in. But in the end, if they didn't make their numbers and essentially exceed the numbers that Joe Biden had in the suburbs, and I think we have to be blunt about why.
Yeah, that's just rationalizing.
Came
But I want to
for
see
Kamala Harris.
If I'm being honest, I'd like to see, guys, if we have the clips of people being upset. These are like, the news people, they're trying to hold back tears, but the unhinged, my gosh, the unhinged are, the classic, like, I never know people take the time to pull over and then scream at their phone in their car.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand those moments.
Yeah, I just sent one in the chat, guys, of like a screaming reactions.
Well, while they bring that up, I want to ask Liz. Liz, what was the reaction among your New York friends? I'm sure you have a lot of folks that you've known for years that were not expecting the result last night. I mean, what's the sentiment that you're seeing from those types of folks?
Well, I have to say that most of upstate New York, it was rooting for President Trump. So most of upstate New York is sort of a red area, with the exception of Albany, maybe Broome County, parts of, maybe parts of Utica. So people were really rooting for President Trump. But here's the thing, when you were flipping through with Joy Reid, that I want to say, Joy Reid made a comment, and the comment that she made last night, or it was early this morning, is she really came after white women. And she was very angry at white women, saying they were the reason that Kamala Harris lost this race, and saying it was because white women, didn't vote for, all of this abortion. And she was right back to all of these abortion rights and transgender rights. And here's what I want to say about that. She is exactly why Kamala Harris lost the race, because this was not about white women. This race was not about abortion. As a matter of fact, if you look at the polling, abortion was only 5 to 6% of women's concerns across the country, from young adult women all the way to elderly women. 5 to 6%. They missed their messaging. The number one issue for women was safety, security, affordability for groceries, housing, and for safety and security for their families. They want a strong economy. Yes. And that was what they missed. And instead, people like Joy Reid were trying to browbeat women, saying, if you have these concerns over here about safety and security and the economy, and you're not putting abortion rights first, there's something wrong with you. And women across the board got fed up and turned out for Donald Trump.
Yeah, they absolutely did, and I think when you look at I don't know if we have this later. Maybe we'll get to it, but there was this moment where you saw that the vote totals they didn't increase for Kamala across the board, and I know there's still votes coming in, and the popular vote totals will go up, but somebody shared a map that showed that Kamala didn't even improve upon Biden's number at all. In fact, she underperformed in almost every county, and yeah, there's all this blame towards one demographic, but it's astounding when you think about, like, your issue has to be everybody else's issue. When the daily tasks of going to the grocery store and seeing those prices go up and up and up over the years is really what's affecting the broad swath of Americans, including white women, all women. I mean, everybody, every mom who goes that does the grocery shopping. Josh, what do you got here? Who's this one?
Matt and Liz, in a way, can we extrapolate possibly that maybe that like the very bizarre abortion fear mongering, like that's our best strategy for women? Can we say that collapsed because it certainly didn't do what they wanted for the candidates? I mean, it's always been the strangest threat I've ever heard. And I think I saw like some people on X, like there's this guy that people are just dunking on so hard in Arizona. And his comment was like, I'm a hunter, all these like silly cliches. I'm a hunter, I'm a man's man, but I don't want my daughter to not have an abortion. And guys in the comments were like, dude, this is the weirdest thing for a dad to say. And this idea that, it's like, that's their religious tenet. So they can't understand why we can't get behind their religious tenet because it's so important to them. But it kind of fell apart.
It's a ritual. Yeah. It's their ritual.
Their sacrament.
They sacrifice babies. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
In that opening clip that you have, where the woman's celebrating abortions, I mean, whatever that comedian was that talked about that. I mean, it's like, and that was a few years ago. I mean, so we're at this stage now where they thought that's the bubble that they live in, that abortion is the number one issue.
Well, I think something that here is where I see a really big difference. The Kamala Harris campaign was trying to turn out the female base for her by claiming that if you don't vote for me, these abortion rights and abortion access, you're not going to have those anymore. When in fact, women across the board, from young to old, were trying to say to Kamala, that's not our number one issue here. Actually, we're feeling scared for our safety. We're watching women being killed by violent, illegal migrants, and nothing is really happening to them. We're feeling afraid. Every other day, there's someone that's being killed that we're watching and seeing all over the news. And we're also not able to put food on the table. Food is astronomical. We're not able to afford housing and apartments. That's our main issue here. We need to fix this first. Can you help us? And she was coming back saying, but if you don't vote for, me, you're going to lose abortion. You're going to lose this. So there was this miscommunication. She was not able to talk to the voter, listen to the voter. She was trying to browbeat the voter. So the voter left her and embraced Donald Trump and saying, I need to feel safe. I need safety, security, and affordable food and housing.
But she's from a middle-class family.
So mad.
Well, see, and so this is the other thing that I wanted to point out.
Please.
She used elitism to try to bolster her campaign. Donald Trump was going into regular barbershops. He was talking to men and women on the street. He was relating to them. He was embracing them. He was hugging them. She was pulling out celebrities left and right who are multi-millionaires, even billionaires like Oprah, saying, you have to vote for Kamala. And the men and women on the street all over the place are saying, no, actually, they're not relating to us. So Kamala tried to use elitism. Donald Trump was like, hey, I get it. I know where you're at. I'm going to fix it. And this is how we're going to do it. That's how
Do you think that we saw the collapse of the value of the celebrity, like a fake celebrity, right? Like Elon and Vivek are real celebrities. They do real things in the world, but like someone singing and dancing doesn't seem like it paid off in the same way at all.
It didn't pay off. And I'll tell you what else really, because Americans were just tired of it. They were like, get out of our face. You live behind your gated homes in your mansions and you're having bodyguards. You're surrounded with bodyguards, and we are really feeling threatened. We're really feeling threatened here. I'll tell you what else really, I believe, turned the corner for President Trump. And it's this: when the hurricane came through and destroyed North Carolina, it wasn't the celebrities that got out there and helped everybody to get their food and power back on and restore their roads. It was men and women in the community. It was the churches. It was the everyday people, and it was the veterans. And they all pitched in, and they got North Carolina up and running with food, access, got them out of their homes, rescued them. The government didn't do it. Celebrities didn't do it. Everyday people got out there, pitched in, helped, and did what they needed to do. And people kind of were like, you know what? The government's not going to rescue us. These promises aren't going to rescue us. It's the people that are going to make the difference here. And that is, I believe, also how he just went all the way through the swing states.
Yeah. So such a great point. And it's the people that showed up to vote. I mean, I think back to, 2020 when a lot of conservatives, a lot of Trump supporters left that election thinking that it was stolen, and that why vote? How could we get through this? And then 22 happened, and everybody was showing up at the polls, and the polls were breaking down, and machines were broken, and nobody could vote, and it was like you got slaughtered again, and you felt like there's so many anomalies, or so many ways that they were cheating, or so many manipulation with the media. It was almost like people were fed up and they weren't going to vote. And Trump broke through that wall and said, no, you got to vote. We're going to do this. And you're thinking, well, how can you do it? You're not in power. And but it was so overwhelming. And like I said, we're going to see those popular vote numbers continue to rise. I think the last number I saw, Trump was at 71 million in the popular vote.
Wow.
And his final tally 4 years ago was 75. And they're still counting votes. So we'll see how if that clicks up there.
And don't forget, this is the other thing I wanted to say about North Carolina, which everybody was watching. It was Donald Trump that called Elon Musk and said, I heard you have Starlinks. Elon said, yes, I do. And they completely mobilized and got Starlinks to, I think hundreds of Starlinks out to North Carolina so that people could get in touch with their families, so that they could have communication. And it was people watching what Donald Trump and Elon Musk did to help them. And it was Kamala didn't show up. Her campaign didn't show up. The government didn't show up. It was the Trump campaign, the normal people, and Elon Musk sent all those Starlinks. He sent them to Florida as well. And people saw and they took note.
Yeah, they did. Meanwhile, unfortunately, on the other side of the aisle, there's a third of America or so that is completely going bananas. Josh, did you queue up some of those reactions that we've been seeing?
Yeah, we have a few here to play out, so just sit back and enjoy.
Can we lower the volume on something?
To be the person that gets on here and cries. But this could break me and my parents apart, because they just don't understand what they voted for and what it means, and the bigotry and hatred that they stand behind, and how I am trying to be a good person. I'm not Catholic like they are, which is ironic because it's religion's supposed to make you love, but I could see it breaking me and my parents apart because they just don't get it, and they don't get that they voted for someone who's gonna make my friends' lives hell. My life's okay. I'm a white woman, but my friends are not.
Oh my gosh. Did she really say that? Oh
I wanna check in with these folks. Say in a year.
Yeah, bookmark her name.
Yeah, and you're like, how are you doing?
Well, she's a white woman. She's got to be fine. See that?
I love that. Isn't
that sort of mindset where you just feel so, what is it? White savior mode, where you just think everybody who's not white is just they don't know how to vote. They don't know how to work a machine. They don't know where to go. They don't know how to use the internet.
Yeah. Previously known as racism.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. What do you got here?
I'm terrified.
We already.
Listen to me, Republicans. Listen. You are the people in history. They warned us about.
It's actually an old clip that a lot of people are reposting it right now.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well,
let's go to the car one.
We gotta. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So Matt Walsh tweeted this out, right?
Yeah. Matt Walsh asked for these, and this is what someone sent him. Might be loud. Let's see. I'll go get the volume up.
It's probably better without it. Look at her. Oh my goodness.
Okay, here it comes. Gotta hit that volume. Oh, it went away.
All you got to do, yeah.
Guys, she has to read.
Okay, here we go.
Stop screen sharing.
Uh,
Stop sharing.
It's kind of funny without the yelling. I don't need to hear. It's very.
yeah,
sensitive.
it doesn't improve. I think you can tell by the.
But Liz, what do you think? I mean, there's these.
You
Oh,
really hate me that bad? I'm sorry. No. Why?
Can I ask?
I-
Traffic. Yeah.
yeah. Can I ask you though, like, if Trump lost, is this the reactions that we would have? I mean, we don't put this much stock in. I mean, this is a religion for them, right? I mean, sure, we wear the Trump hats, we wave the flags, we have fun at the rallies, you know, we Trump this, Trump that, and all that. But like, when you lose like this, there's a. I mean, these folks they need God. I mean, let's just say, right?
That's all there is left for them is like, yeah, I mean, they're unhinged. They're not well. But also, this is like so performative. Remember I said like people pull over and do this in their car?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Get a life.
So is this the View this morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
He's a complete aberration. He is a politician that is twice impeached. How is it that we have normalized
Elizabeth's
someone
daughter.
tried to start an insurrection, who is an election denier, who is a convicted felon, who's twice impeached, who is filed for bankruptcy 6 times?
People
He's not a rich man.
The man from his policies.
And can we not let Fox News off the hook, please?
I don't understand.
And Newsmax and all the fake news that's been going out
Who
there.
the hell
one
watches
of the
this
things
show?
that we need to do, and it's not to abolish the Department of Education. As a former teacher, believe me, he's talking about doing that.
Yes.
You know, the kids I brought this up before, I'm going to bring it up again. In Finland, kids in nursery school are learning to discern between fake news and real news.
Yeah.
They should be teaching that in this country.
Yeah, right.
Teach children tolerance. Teach them to think critically.
Well, it would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is DC and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations
Not
of
going to
social
get any
media.
better with Elon Musk now in the administration. I want to end by thanking Joe Biden for having given us 4 years of decency, a moral compass, legislative accomplishments
This
that
woman.
help Americans. So and haven't gotten us out of COVID.
Liz,
Joe Biden.
Yeah, Liz, let me ask
helping?
you this: what is it about some of these folks here? And I appreciate what they're trying to do here, but they're basically saying, well, I guess all of America just loves voting for felons. They love voting for rapists. They don't see that what we've been telling them is that all of this is a lie. Everything that they've been propping up about Trump has been a lie, and they walk past that and they say, well, I guess people just love voting for a rapist.
You see these comments?
Yeah. So here's what I would say. Every single one of those women that is sitting there at the View, my guess is probably making over $500,000 a year.
Oh, for sure.
At least.
Minimum. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that they're just not able to see is that, for example, in the congressional district that I live in, the average gross income is $70,000, and that's before taxes. They're not looking at that the average American income is probably across the board. I would say maybe, if you're rounding it off, $60,000 in America. So and they're also not looking at the fact that under the Biden administration, people's businesses were taken away when COVID hit. They were prevented from working their businesses. They were prevented from, and they lost their livelihoods. Their children were kept out of school for over 2 years, and their children lost 2 years of education. People didn't have access to hospitals. They were given mandatory vaccines. Our military was fired if they didn't get a vaccine. They kicked out Navy SEALs. We left $86 billion worth of military equipment in Afghanistan that is now being turned around and used against Israel. They're not in tune with the fact that, millions and millions of illegal migrants are roaming our streets, and people are having to live in the sanctuary cities where people can't walk down the street in safety and security. They're not looking at the fact that taxes have gone up, food prices have gone up, housing is completely unaffordable because these people are elitists. This was an elitist campaign from an elitist government that the normal people are the ones that employ. We are the ones that employ that government who decided to call us essential and non-essential, and then told us if we didn't agree with them that we were bigots and racists and fascists, and that we were trying to vote for Hitler. And people just got tired of being beat up by bullies. And so, and you know, sometimes when you've been beaten up and beaten up and beaten up and you finally hit back, that's what this campaign was about. People hit back and said, listen, I don't believe you anymore. I am tired of being beat up. I'm tired of paying you to tell me that I'm wrong about every single thing. That is what happened here with this election. And they still don't understand it. They still haven't gotten the message this morning. They still don't see that they were completely out of touch with everyday people. And they're probably going to have a very tough time with it all the way and through January 20th. So I do think that we need to be prepared for possible, I hope not, but possible civil unrest.
Yeah, but you're exactly right. It's some great points that you laid out there. One of the best examples of this is Scott Pressler shared this about Pennsylvania in Bucks County. If we have that tweet up or that post on X, but Bucks County is that little, you could see it there highlighted with the black outline. That is normally blue. That's right next to Philadelphia. It borders New Jersey, and that has gone since 1988 to the Democrat. And so you're looking at almost 36 years of Democrat rule in Bucks County, and that turned. And that is due a large effort to the big on the ground game there in Pennsylvania from folks like Scott Pressler or Charlie Kirk, Cliff Maloney we've had on the program, and so kudos to them for doing that. But what that obviously led to was, let's watch this clip of Scott Jennings. Jason Howerton shared this on X. Scott Jennings was on CNN. He's been dropping some real gems out there, thankfully, to the CNN panel. And he had them enraptured here. Let's watch this.
This is a mandate. He's won the national popular vote for the first time for a Republican for the first time since 2004. This is a big deal. This isn't backing into the office. This is a mandate to do what you said you were going to do. Get the economy working again for regular working class Americans, fix immigration, try to get crime under control, try to reduce the chaos in the world. This is a mandate from the American people to do that. I think I'm interpreting the results tonight as the revenge of just the regular old working class American, the anonymous American who has been crushed, insulted, condescended to. They're not garbage. They're not Nazis. They're just regular people who get up and go to work every day.
It's awesome.
A better life for their kids, and they feel like they have been told to just shut up when they have complained about the things that are hurting them in their own lives. I also feel like this election, as we sit here and pour over this tonight, is something of an indictment of the political information complex. I mean, we've been around here for the last couple of weeks, and the story that was portrayed was not true. And we were told Puerto Rico was going to change the election. Liz Cheney, Nikki Haley voters, women lying to their husbands. Before that, it was Tim Walz and the camo hats. Night after night after night, we were told all these things and gimmicks were going to somehow push Harris over the line. And we were just ignoring the fundamentals. Inflation, people feeling like that they were barely able to tread water at best. That was the fundamentals of the election. And so I think that both parties should always look at the results of an election and figure out what went right and what went wrong. But I think for all of us who cover elections and talk about elections and do this on a day-to-day basis, we have to figure out how to understand, talk to, and listen to the half of the country that rose up tonight and said, we've had enough.
Racist.
Amen.
Racist.
Spot on. That's exactly what happened.
Perfect.
And it's just, we've just had enough. And as we move forward, I think people just want unity. We don't want division. We don't want to, go now and make everybody else pay for, the people that we just want to move forward.
Yes.
We want the best for our families. We want the best for our children. We want our safety and security back. We want unity. We are tired of the division, and I'm excited to move forward. for this administration, especially now because we've got the Senate. Looks like we're for sure getting the House. It's amazing. The Supreme Court, we're obviously keeping that, so we're not going to have, the Harris administration. They would have packed the Supreme Court. We're not going to have that. Right. We want unity. Let's fix the problems. Unify, focus on those things, and that is what I'm very hopeful for.
Yeah, and you're spot on, and I totally agree. I extend to everybody that I know who disagrees with me. I am here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to unify. I'm here to move forward, and I think we can all we can all share that sentiment forward with everybody. One of the things that I think is going to be interesting as we even move throughout the next couple of months here, because we don't kind of know what the Democrats have, what the agitators might have up their sleeve, but I think hopefully we'll see some fallout here because, again, as we talk about these popular vote numbers, Zero Hedge shared this graph, and I want to get your take on this because this is fascinating here. It shows the total popular vote numbers from Democrats and Republicans from 2012, 2016, 2020, and now 2024. And if you see that yellow line, it marks that the Democrat popular vote total has been the same with the exception of 2020 when Joe Biden broke records there with almost 20 million more votes in 2020. And then, of course, you see how the small progression of Republican popular vote numbers going up with a large peak in 2020 and then a slight dip again in this go around. But this, again, we still have the numbers having to come in, but what does this kind of tell you about 2020 perhaps? Am I crazy? Are we crazy to guess, question Matt? This? Yeah, Josh, please. Yeah.
Total fraud. All you have to do is you just have to remember Joe Biden. Joe Biden got 80 million plus votes. No, he didn't. That is not possible. And this graph, this graph makes it very clear. And that I remember going into this election, there was a lot of accusations about, they created that frame to put us in about election deniers, but data doesn't lie. That was an anomalous year, and even Trump did better, and it's beautiful to see this kind of thing. We should reinforce it, because they'll say, "Oh, Trump won. See, no election fraud." No, that's not how it works.
Right.
We were not asleep this time, and they didn't have their COVID tricks up their sleeve.
Yeah.
I think it really was too big to rig. I really do. I think it was too big to rig. 2020 for sure. There was fraud. There's just no question about it. It's been proven repeatedly over and over and over. And I hope there is justice that comes from that. That being said, this time the numbers are probably higher and higher than we even know. And I think it really was too big to rig. And I would say, Americans took Kamala's advice this time. We really did. We took her advice and we truly unburdened ourselves with what has been years. We unburdened ourselves.
What had been.
And we took her advice and we did something different and we embraced Donald Trump. So thank you, Kamala Harris, for that.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Hey, let's do a quick hit here with the Zelenko emergency medicine kit. Can we throw up that graphic there? Over at zstacklife.com. You can get 5% off if you use the code WND. Scan that QR code, head to the description, and find the link over there at zstacklife.com. This is the Zelenko emergency medicine kit. And Zelenko, this is named after Dr. Zelenko during the COVID years, was out there saving people's lives with his protocol. And so they've developed a line of emergency kits, medicine kits for you to look at and choose. Consult with your doctor. We're not doctors here on this program, but we do recommend you head over to the Zelenko site there, Z-Stack Life, and scan that QR code and use 5% off with the promo code WND. So thank you, folks. To them.
Matt, I wanted to add to this. Of course, I am not a doctor, although I may play one sometimes on television. So I wanted to add, guys, like it's flu season. Remember the flu? It's cold season.
It's back. The flu's back.
And I was just talking to a friend this morning on the phone, and his kid wasn't feeling well because it's the seasonal change. But we kind of know now. Remember, we used to take Dynatap and Theraflu. Well, now post COVID, we know that inflammation in your body is what's largely makes it susceptible to illness and infection. And that's kind of what we're pitching here with the Zelenko product, because it has the natural things that make your body less inflamed, and therefore you recover faster. And if you guys want to put that image up one more time, I recommend this kind of stuff to people all the time now, because you shouldn't suppress the symptoms. That's what everyone does with Tylenol, Theraflu, whatever. You want to address what's going on in your body, and that's what this product claims to do. And I think it's fantastic. So, we put it up and down fast, but we want you to go over there, use the QR code, and get some of this. And I'm going to get some of this too, because more than anything, I hate being sick, especially,
Yes.
and it's any minute now, especially if you have kids in school. Man, it's the worst. So
Yeah.
check them out. We'd really appreciate it.
Hey, over on the X, we had this post put up about, we posted this a while ago regarding Elon Musk. So if we have that ready to go,
Yes, such a good clip.
Yeah.
Ministerio de Turismo y Deporte, afuera. Ministerio de Cultura, afuera. Ministerio de Ambiente y Desarrollo Sostenible, afuera. Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad, afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas, afuera. Aunque te resistas. Ministerio de Ciencia y Tecnología e Innovación.
This is
afuera.
Javier
Ministerio de
Milei down there in Argentina getting rid of all of the wasteful government agencies that are in there. And folks, it looks like, now Elon Musk is going to bring in Ron Paul and maybe some other folks to do the same. I hope they do a video like this too. That would be fake. That would be fantastic. Liz, what are you most excited about if we can get past January 20th? What are you most excited about with this team that Trump is bringing into the White House?
I love how diverse it is. I really do. I love how diverse it is. I love the fact that there's Elon Musk, right? Technology and government efficiency. I love the fact that Tulsi Gabbard is on this team. I absolutely love her. I love the fact that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is going to be going after the CDC, the FDA, and he's going to be making, America healthy again, addressing the vaccine crisis that we're having within our children. I love that he is going to take that on and seeks to make America healthy again. I love the fact that, they have brought in so many people that are so diverse. Vivek Ramaswamy, Tucker Carlson, even, I love the team that they have put together. I think that it's wonderful. It's diverse. They all have different kinds of beliefs and backgrounds and families. And yet at the same time, their sole goal is to make America healthy, prosperous in every single way that we can, from businesses, families, economy, our border, our foreign policy. I just am very excited about it. Our education, the education department, the taxes, just, driving down debt. I'm excited about all of it. And I want all of it. And I'm especially excited I will say, for my children and grandchildren, and because it brings great hope. And I think there was a lot of people that were so extremely concerned about the trajectory of the country. And I'm very glad that there will be safety and security, and they're going to go after, the department, the people that were bringing lawfare against normal Americans. I'd like to see the January 6ers immediately pardoned and let out.
Absolutely.
That's something that I really want to happen on day one, and to see them reunited with their families.
Yeah,
that's a great point, Liz. I forget about those folks, but they need to be out of jail immediately, including the poor woman that was praying in front of an abortion clinic. Another really appalling misuse of the justice system.
Yeah.
Correct.
Absolutely. Well, Liz, thank you so much for joining us. Remind our viewers here where they can find you, where they can follow your work, and keep tabs on your good stuff out there in New York.
You can head right over to X and find me, Liz Joy on X. I'm right there. You can head over to Instagram, same thing, Liz Joy, Facebook, anywhere. That's where I am, getting the messages out and showing what, I'm doing here in New York and across the country.
Fantastic. All right, great. Well, thank you, Liz, for joining us. And we look forward to having you back.
Thanks so much. Great to be with you guys today.
Okay. And folks, we thank you for watching on YouTube and X and Facebook and stuff. But also remember, we're on Rumble. We were on Rumble. The numbers were huge last night on Rumble as we were on for 8 hours. So head over there, hit that follow, subscribe button, the notification, all of that stuff. Josh, take it away here.
Yeah, guys, also thank you for the comments. We don't always get to the comments, but we really appreciate everybody talking. Chris Schwab, Tiny loves Boston. We love Tiny.
Biggie Cheese.
S. Dill. I didn't see Biggie Cheese on, but guys, we love it when you comment. We'll try to get to them and put you in. And then, hey, everybody in the comments, okay? I see a couple Rumbles. Let's go to Rumble, everybody. And I would love to tell you to just watch on YouTube, but every show we've done in the last 3 days has gotten some kind of block from YouTube. And sometimes that's just because we put in a great song. But YouTube's so litigious, you can't get anything fun done. So the fun platform is Rumble. That's where we can actually put up content. So please go like and subscribe over there. Follow us over there. And of course, worldnetdaily.com is, you can also put in WND.com. That is the spot where all of our stories break. And our X account, man, I think X is going to be the next YouTube, guys. Elon is doing amazing things with X. It will also have a lot of video capability, and that's just nonstop breaking news from us. And we really appreciate you watching. And you can see my content over at Josh_Turnbow on X. I post over there a lot of weird stuff, to be honest. But if you like to know about the Nephilim, UFOs, and maybe breaking news, I'll have something over there. Always a conspiracy. And also, please follow Matt, True Matt Edwards. And Matt is always on top of everything, especially good political stuff. And I go to Matt to see what's going on all the time.
I appreciate that. No, we try. We're trying hard out there. We're trying hard to keep you guys informed. WND.com is where you need to be. And I hope we get to see Joe Kovacs there. He's probably recuperating too. So
yeah,
we'll see. I know he won't be on Friday, but I can't wait to see him on next week and see what happened out there. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back on Friday. God bless America. Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.